Paramount Plus.
Things still look a little bit wet for tonight, particularly east of Marquette going into the daybreak hours on Tuesday. Of all the weather details coming up at 11.
Good evening, everyone. I'm John Truitt. Tonight on your WZMQ 19 News, investigators are continuing their investigation into this weekend's shooting at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Also, the Trump administration over the weekend abruptly called off plans to send top negotiators to Pakistan for a second round of direct talks with Iranian officials. And 5 bald eagles were recently found dead, all in the same small area on the Upper Peninsula. The DNR is asking for your help. Your 19 News at 11 starts now.
Live from the UP, this is WZMQ 19 News at 11.
Welcome in. A first look at your forecast continuing on through the week and the last few days of April. Tomorrow is going to be a bit chilly, definitely compared to what we saw today, and slightly cooler than average temperatures, but it's going to be a pretty calm day. Just some cloudy skies and a few wind gusts throughout the afternoon that pick up a little bit, and we'll see some rays of sunshine peeking in, maybe a few isolated and scattered showers here across the Upper Peninsula. So make sure to stay tuned. I'll have a full look at your forecast and what you need to know as you're planning the rest of the week.
Thanks, Kelly. The man accused of opening fire outside the ballroom where the White House Correspondents' Dinner was taking place made his first court appearance in federal court today, but did not enter a plea. This comes amidst growing concern over the safety measures in place at the Saturday night event. Natalie Brand has more.
Prosecutors say the suspect, 31-year-old Cole Allen, was armed with a shotgun and handgun when he allegedly stormed a security checkpoint near the ballroom where the White House Correspondents' Dinner was held.
What is clear from the complaint and from what we have so far is he was targeting President Trump. He described that in his manifesto. He was targeting administration officials.
Allen is charged with use of a firearm during a crime of violence, transportation of a firearm with intent to commit a felony, and attempting to assassinate the President of the United States.
There will be additional charges as this investigation continues to unfold. But make no mistake, this was an attempted assassination of the President of the United States, with the defendant making clear what his intent was. And that intent was to bring down as many of the high-ranking cabinet officials as he could.
No one inside the ballroom was injured, but a Secret Service officer was shot in his bulletproof vest and released from the hospital early Sunday.
The White House and lawmakers on Monday condemned rhetoric they say is contributing to a rise in political violence.
Those who constantly falsely label and slander the president as a fascist, as a threat to democracy, and compare him to Hitler to score political points are fueling this kind of violence.
We embrace the fact that everybody should take the temperature down.
The White House expressed confidence in the Secret Service for quickly taking down the suspect, but Chief of Staff Susie Wiles will convene a meeting this week with Secret Service and the Department of Homeland Security to talk about protocols for future presidential events, including upcoming America 250 celebrations. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Following this weekend's shooting, a wave of misinformation, conspiracy theories, and false claims about the incident flooded the internet. Most of these ideas suggested that the shooting was staged. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
After news reports shared developments about the shooting at the Washington Hilton Hotel, where the president and cabinet officials attended the annual White House Correspondents' Dinner, people online claimed the shooting was staged. They shared comments online on posts related to the event, saying things such as, "Fake shooting, you're all evil people," "Another fake attempt," "Great acting," and "The worst staged event in history, impeach Donald Trump." We asked Kai von Schroff, a media and culture expert, why rumors and conspiracy theories gain a lot of traction following major events like this one.
I think in this case, as in many others, when a conspiracy can sort of take off, there's two things. There's context and then coincidence. So the context here, I think, is twofold. There's a broader context, right? This is a media dinner where they all kind of pat each other on the back and they sort of do this dance with the people that are in power that they're supposed to be holding accountable at a time when both our leaders in government across party, and in media are not popular with the public. So you have that as a general background.
He also adds in the weeks leading up to the WHCA dinner, big MAGA figures questioned previous shootings the president faced, like the attempted assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania.
So that's buzzing online. And then you have this event where people already had that frame and there's a couple of coincidences. And so those coincidences are that this is the first time Trump has decided to attend this dinner, that security seemed to be somewhat lax. And I know people are debating that.
What advice do you have for just regular people at home, for viewers to maybe kind of shuffle through the myths or disinformation?
I wait and I see, okay, what's actually coming out? I go look at, news sources that are credible, that aren't, just showing up on my Instagram feed.
In Washington, Rachel Knapp, WZMQ 19 News.
The White House says President Trump met with his national security team this morning to discuss a new proposal from Iran. Jared Hill is in New York with the latest on this stalemate.
As ships sit idle in the Strait of Hormuz, the White House says President Trump discussed with his national security team Monday an Iranian offer to reopen the key shipping waterway. That's if the U.S. ends its blockade on Iranian ports and vessels. But the proposal did not address Iran's nuclear program, a sticking point for the Trump administration.
I don't want to get ahead of the president or his national security team. What I will reiterate is that the president's red lines with respect to Iran have been made very, very clear, not just to the American public, but also to them as well.
Over the weekend, President Trump abruptly called off plans to send top negotiators, Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, to Pakistan for a second round of direct talks with Iranian officials.
They weren't meeting with the leader of the country. They were meeting with other people. And I said, we're just not going to do it. Too much traveling, takes too long, too expensive.
Iran's foreign minister did meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin Monday, blaming the stalled negotiations on, quote, excessive U.S. demands. And despite a U.S. brokered ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon, smoke could be seen rising in southern Lebanon as hostilities between Israel and Iran's proxy, Hezbollah, persist.
Michigan Department of Natural Resources officials are hoping the public can shed light on a recent series of dead eagles found in the Garden Peninsula between April 3rd and April 17th. 5 bald eagles were found dead in a single area. The DNR is asking for the public's help in finding out what happened to the birds. The DNR can confirm, however, that the eagles did not die from natural causes, predators, or a collision with a vehicle. Eagles are a state and federally protected species, and anyone with information is asked to contact DNR's poaching hotline. 50 Upper Peninsula High School seniors and their educators were awarded for their academic excellence this evening. WZMQ's Andrew Hands has the details.
For its 33rd year in a row, Grow and Lead held its Excellence in Education Awards program this evening at the Northern Center. 50 seniors at the tops of their classes, hailing from schools in Marquette and Alger counties, were each awarded $2,000 scholarships before taking their next steps.
I was really excited. I mean, you can't go wrong with free money, and it just is really nice because I've worked really hard to get the grades I have.
Students tell me within their small but competitive classes, they've been able to work strongly with one another after growing up and reaching their final years of high school all together.
Do you have any other friends receiving awards as well today?
Yeah, actually my twin sister. She pushes me to do better, and we kind of challenge each other and see who can get the higher test score and who can get the better grades.
At Nagani, we have a very smart senior class this year, so It was always very competitive. I knew that I was somewhere in the range, but I was very grateful to receive this award.
This evening, each student was accompanied by a chosen educator who made an impact in their learning experience. To these teachers, leaving this mark is part of the job, but standing out to those who have done so well is what makes that lasting impact.
You hope you make a difference every day with a lot of students, but when you get selected by one in particular for something like this, it really means a lot. This is my 4th year, so fairly new, but really enjoy what I do and making a difference every day.
25 outstanding teachers were also awarded with professional development grants of $1,000 each to further continue their beloved coursework. We'll have a full list of these celebrated students and educators on our website, WZMQ19.com. In Marquette, Andrew Hands, WZMQ 19 News.
Still ahead on your 19 News at 11, road construction in downtown Escanaba will be underway soon. We have the details on how to get around, what roads are closed, and what detours will be in place. And later, we take a look at plans for Michigan's education budget, the Senate plan versus the House plan, and what makes them so different. That's all coming up next.
19 News is brought to you by Kirkish Furniture.
Toyota Tacoma has been the #1 selling truck in its class for the past 21 years. You want to know how they stay #1?
You give Tacoma a more advanced powertrain. This hybrid iForce Max delivers 326 horsepower.
Tacoma's off-road capabilities are better than ever. And you've got an available 14-inch touchscreen.
And Tacoma has the best resale in its class.
Get 4.99 APR financing on a 26 Tacoma or a $299 a month lease.
America drives Toyota.
Let's go places.
At the MicroWorks Foundation, we help people get the training they need to land an AI-proof 6-figure job. Here in Michigan, that means plumbers, electricians, welders, pipe fitters, mechanics, linemen, HVAC techs, and so many other high-paying opportunities that don't require a 4-year degree. We've set aside millions of dollars to help train people who want to learn a skill that's in demand. If that sounds like you, apply today for a work ethic scholarship at microworks.org.
She was born to perform.
I was singing I'm Going Down with all my might at 5 years old.
Plus, Michael Urie and Jessica Williams.
She has a line to God when it comes to comedy.
God's like, don't put me in that.
Then this little football star on J-Hood.
The Jennifer Hudson Show, tomorrow at 4 on WZMQ CBS. Followed by the Kelly Clarkson Show at 5 and 19 News at 6.
Planes, trains, and Broncos. Kick up your spurs and set a spell with the fine folks of Gunsmoke, Bonanza, The Rifleman, and Wagon Train. Go west, young man. Go west.
Weekdays beginning at 1 p.m. on MeTV 19.1. Escanaba reporter Lily Simmons on WZMQ 19 News. Now, from the 19 News Forecast Center, this is WZMQ 19 First Warning Weather with meteorologist Kelly Rowland.
And welcome back. Wanted to take a quick second just to talk about some severe weather because it's been a pretty active season so far, but in places that you wouldn't normally think of as Tornado Alley, the traditional Tornado Alley that is, but a lot of the activity has been seeming to be in the southern portions of Illinois, throughout Missouri and into Indiana, and this is not your typical Tornado Alley indicator as you've probably heard at some point in your life. Most people think of Oklahoma and into Kansas, and yes, tornadoes still happen there, but over the last 45 years or so, there's been a trend where we see some of that starting to shift over into that area, and especially for today, that specific area in Illinois and into Indiana had a lot of active weather for today, and that's going to be seemingly a trend that continues here. And I always say Mother Nature doesn't know county lines or state lines. As long as the atmospheric conditions are in place for a tornado, it can happen. So yeah, they're not as common as here, but just wanted to update you on that, especially if you have any family into those places where more tornadoes are popping up here. The only weather alerts that we have at this point are just those lingering flood advisories and the flood watches for the local streams just from the snow melt and maybe some rain that will be adding on here. But we did round off at 62 degrees, so that's 10 degrees above average, which is a nice treat to start off the week. It's always easier to get back into that weekly workflow when you have some warmer temperatures to work with. We'll still keep things relatively warm for some, but it's definitely going to be a bit cooler throughout most of this week here, especially with this system moving through, some rain-cooled air, not too much of that consistent sunshine. It's going to be a bit harder for the warmth here, and especially on a few seconds here, a few clicks, you might see some blue. Yeah, there it is on your first morning weather futurecast. That tells us that there is cooler air that's going to be ushered into the area, so don't be surprised if there's a wet snowflake or two flying around for early Wednesday morning and maybe continuing through that afternoon time frame. But as for those flooding issues, always want to see if there's any increased rain activity that's going to be adding on to things here. And we will see, because of those scattered showers, those rain totals may be pushing up to about an inch or so, especially out through down towards Iron Mountain and up through here in Marquette too. Those future winds, we are going to continue to see that increase for tomorrow morning, the morning commute. Make sure to hold on to your hats here, have some extra hairspray, because those winds could get up to about 25, maybe pushing 30 miles per hour before they start to diminish for the rest of Tuesday night and into Wednesday. So it's really just this beginning of the week where this system is still trying to move out of the way, where the temperatures cool down, we get some scattered showers and a bit of those increased wind gusts throughout the late night and early tomorrow morning. So temperatures are back down to the lower 40s, so it is a cooler week, and especially last few days of April here. We start off May on this Friday, and we'll gradually start to increase those temperatures as they rebound to the lower 50s to close out the first weekend of May and into this week.
Thanks, Kelly. Record-breaking wildfires are still burning in southern Georgia into a second week now. Despite a little rain overnight, CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry is in Waynesville, Georgia, with the latest efforts to try and contain the blaze.
New video shows the scale and scope of the devastation in South Georgia as fires now burn into a second week. This one near the town of Waynesville doubled in size over the weekend, extending a trail of misery and destruction.
That was my house.
This is what's left of David and Christina Carter's home.
It was devastating.
It's like numb at first because you're like, this is a joke, right? And it's like, no, this was my house for 10 years.
Were you all able to save anything? Or?
Nothing.
The Carter's home, among at least 120 so far, gone. Powerful winds and extreme drought are fueling these two major fires. South Georgia is under extreme or exceptional drought. Waynesville has received just a ½ inch of rain this month, less than 1/8 of its normal rainfall.
We looked at all the records going back historically with the state. We believe that these two fires have created the most lost homes ever in the history of our state.
The Carters say they were fortunate to have insurance. Much can be replaced. And yet, despite grabbing documents and other essentials as they fled.
Like the rush of getting everything, we left our wedding album. We've been married 25 years. There's stuff that we'll never get back.
The Carters say they will rebuild. As for the battle ahead, those out-of-state firefighters, more accustomed to dealing with those dry, windy, and hot conditions, say that they will be a welcomed sight of relief for those firefighters here on the ground, as officials say that they are more accustomed to dealing with structural fires as opposed to wildfires. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Waynesville, Georgia.
Michigan lawmakers are moving forward with competing education budget plans for the next fiscal year. The state Senate is proposing a higher spending plan that shifts how schools are funded, while House Republicans are taking a different approach. Our Michigan Capitol correspondent Sophia Murphy breaks down the key differences and what they could mean for schools.
Michigan lawmakers are advancing two different plans to fund K-12 schools, with both chambers agreeing on a base per pupil increase to $10,300, but not on how the rest of the money should be spent.
Providing breakfast and lunch for all kids, supporting transportation needs, especially in our rural school districts. This is a budget that we can be proud of, and it is a huge investment in our schools.
The Senate plan would spend more overall, increasing funding by more than $700 million. Dedicated funding for at-risk students and English language learners would go up by 25%. The plan would also set a framework for a 15-year plan to make that funding more predictable.
If it is in the revised school code, which is what we are attempting to do, it is state law. So that every year we will be working towards meeting the targets in the revised school code for these new weights.
House Republicans, however, reject that long-term approach.
I don't know that we've made the case to the Michigan taxpayer.
The House plan includes investments in literacy programs, career training, and a $40 million private tutoring initiative, along with new accountability measures for schools.
Funding some things like CTE and early childhood and, and all that, but also trying to do something a little different.
Republicans also say their lower spending plan is an effort to scale back from pandemic-era funding levels while still increasing support for schools.
I think it's just trying to right-size budgets to some degree.
Lawmakers will now negotiate a final version of the education budget, with major disagreements over spending levels and whether to adopt that long-term funding formula. From Michigan's capital, Sophia Murphy, WZMQ 19 News.
The spring construction season has officially begun in downtown Escanaba. Ludington Street is now closed to traffic from 8th to 14th Street. Through the fall, crews will be working to replace old sewer lines and reconstruct the streetscape. Once the work is complete, Ludington Street will have parallel parking, a dedicated bike lane, wider sidewalks, and curb bump outs. Downtown businesses are still open, but many sidewalks will be temporarily inaccessible. Affected businesses are asking customers to use back and side door entrances while the construction is ongoing. To keep citizens informed on the progress of the construction, the city is holding an informational meetings every Monday at 6 p.m., the first Wednesday of each month. I'm sorry, that is, they're holding the meetings at 6 p.m. the first Wednesday of each month. Sorry about that. This weekend in Escanaba, an annual pop culture celebration returns to Bay College. This year's BayCon is a two-day event running Friday from 4 to 7 and Saturday from 10 till 5. Dozens of vendors will be selling everything from records and artwork to retro video games and vintage toys. Guests can register for a cosplay contest, join gaming tournaments, and meet celebrity guest voice actors and comic book artists.
The community response has just been awesome. Just to see people having fun, smiles, coming together over some shared interests, from those who are 2 or 3 years old to those of us like me who are young at heart. It's just really cool to see the community embrace this event.
Single-day BayCon admission costs $5, and two-day passes are available for $7. To purchase tickets in advance, visit WZMQ19.com. Manistique's Autumn Ladies Night has become such a success that organizers are launching a spring counterpart. This Friday through Sunday, Ladies Weekend will include a night of shopping, dining, and pop-up activities, a show opening at Lake Effect Community Arts, and a candle pouring class. It's an opportunity for ladies to relax and support local businesses, many of which are female-owned.
Having female entrepreneurs down here, having such a strong Main Street, puts that drive and that oomph into Manistique. It is all just love and comfort and, oh, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you? How are the kids? It's just the sweetest thing. We spend so much time pouring from an empty cup. I think it's time you fill your cup.
On Saturday, participants are encouraged to dress up for Mrs. Roper's Romp, named for the character from Three's Company, for a day of fun, drink specials, and prizes. Coming up next on your 19 News, after a brutal winter, finding ways to make up for all those snow days at our schools. And Michigan lawmakers are looking to give some schools a break after the brutal.
Ready for more fun? The Michigan Lottery has doubled the number of cash pop drawings. Just match one number. Yep, just one. From 1 to 15. If your number drops, you can win up to $5,000. That's cash pop from the Michigan Lottery.
Hey Mace, did you order your prom outfit yet?
Yeah, Mom, I'll do it.
Hey, have you gotten your prom tux yet?
Yeah, Mom, I got it.
Mason, did you order your prom tux yet?
Yeah, it's coming. Mom?
Skip the guesswork this prom season. Come down to Young's Menswear. We get it right the first time. With tons of in-stock options to rent or buy, we'll help you look your best. Don't wait. Trust the experts at Young's Menswear, now in Escanaba and Marquette.
Yes, we're on thin ice. And everything is going up in smoke. Still, some are adding fuel to the fire, while the rest of us see the troubled waters rising. Our planet is under the weather. But when the going gets tough, the tough get, well, you know. Because in the heat of this moment, we're not about to lose our cool. Love it or lose it.
Weeknights, MeTV brings the funny.
They do have some funny stuff in there.
With MASH. Andy Griffith. And Everybody Loves Raymond.
Weeknights on MeTV 19.1. You're watching WZMQ 19 News, live and local, with John Truitt.
Michigan lawmakers are looking to give some schools a break after a brutal winter. A new state bill from State Representative Parker Fairbairn would forgive additional snow days following a massive March storm that shut down districts across northern Michigan and the Upper Peninsula. The proposal targets communities hit hardest by days of heavy snow and ice.
You saw record amount of snowfalls in many areas of the Upper Peninsula and Lower Peninsula. And we had students that were not in school for a week, from a Monday to a Friday. It was a long amount of time.
The bill would allow eligible districts to count up to 4 additional missed days as instructional time. It's currently being reviewed in committee and will be needing to pass a vote in the House and Senate to make it to the governor's desk. Tonight, we are graced with an encore presentation of Life in the 906. Here's our replay of our segment from earlier today. Jim Koski, welcome back. It's a busy time for college students right now. What does this mean in your neck of the woods?
Well, I tell you what, John, we're at that time of the year when there are a few changes afoot in a couple of UP communities. Tech held their graduation this past weekend. While it's now finals week at Northern, their ceremony's coming up on Saturday. And that means that some of the college students are going away for the summer, and the cities and towns that are home to them are going to be just a little bit different. In my neighborhood in Marquette, for example, that means, well, the beer pong tables are taken off the front lawn. Front porches look like this only 5 mornings a week instead of 7. And I no longer get to see students holding up signs saying, "Honk and we'll take a drink," every night when I walk home from work. And you know what? I'm going to miss that. You see, I was a college student once. In fact, I lived in a house with 11 other people and came home one night to find that someone had thrown a stuffed moose head through the front window without opening the window first. So I get it. Sometimes college students do wacky things, but those stories are extremes. Most college students don't throw a stuffed moose head through a window. In fact, they're friendly, hardworking, and are more than willing to do their part in helping out the community. They also bring a vital energy to wherever they live. Marquette would not be Marquette, and Houghton would not be Houghton without the 7,000 or 8,000 students who spend most of the year living, learning, and, occasionally blowing steam off across the street from us. And when they're gone, that energy is lacking. Sure, during the year when college students are being college students, you might get a little annoyed or just shake your head. But when they're gone, you miss them and that unique energy they seem to possess. And besides, with most of the students away for the summer, now who's going to leave their red Solo cups lying around inside a lilac tree? I'm Jim Koski, and that's another slice of Life in the 906.
Thanks, Jim. And don't forget to join Jim weekday afternoons on Q107 WMQT. Kelly Rowland has your final look at weather after this.
Get an 11% rebate at Menards. Keep landscaping in top condition with Bio Advanced Tree and Shrub Protect and Feed Concentrate. Its unique formula prevents infestations for up to a year. Get a 64-ounce jug for a value of $21.99 after rebate. Midwest Master is an all-purpose grass seed mix that starts growing fast and blends well into existing lawns. A 15-pound bag covers more than 10,000 square feet. Now a value of $39.99 after rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
It's super, it's science, it's fiction.
What is it?
It's Super Sci-Fi Saturday night on MeTV. After Sven gets swept away in adventures beyond our world, promising spaceships, lasers, giants, other worlds, and robots.
I will do my part.
Super Sci-Fi Saturday night.
Saturday nights on MeTV 19.1.
Pure Outdoor is the first program dedicated to increasingly popular outdoor and eco sports. Individual and adventurous. Journey to the world's most exotic, breathtaking locations. Pure Outdoor.
Sophia Murphy reports at 6 and 11 on WZMQ 19 News.
Sundays on MeTV.
On Sunday.
Like on TV?
It's Aaron Spelling Sundays.
On Sunday.
Featuring 4 memorable shows from the legendary Hollywood producer.
That's Sunday on television.
It's Charlie's Angels.
The Bosley people.
Hello.
Heart to Heart.
We can have a heart-to-heart talk.
Fantasy Island.
That's one fantasy I've never considered.
And The Love Boat.
Like on a boat? Yes, like on a boat.
Aaron Spelling Sundays.
Sundays on MeTV 19.1.
I'm Sophia Murphy at the Capitol in Lansing, only on WZMQ 19 News.
And a final check of your forecast. Temperatures will cool down for tomorrow, and they will stay a bit cooler for the rest of this week, basically, definitely for the conclusion of this month. A bit of that patchy fog may be developing overnight, but we'll probably see most of that out of the way for the morning commute. But those of you that may be out really early, about 5-6 a.m., just watch out for that. Make sure to drive a little slow, maybe the low beams. And other than that, we'll get mostly cloudy skies into Marquette for tomorrow. Those temperatures really struggling to see that 50 mark, so a bit chilled here, stuck in the upper 40s. We'll get a few leftover raindrops out towards Ontonagon and Houghton and through Lawrence, and it is just those very light, the brief pop-up showers for the rest of the night and into tomorrow. Things stay relatively dry, just a few scattered showers throughout different time frames here, but at least for the rest of April, we're definitely on the cool side, and that seems to be the trend here. Slightly cooler temperatures for that 6 to 10 day outlook, so a bit chilled but mostly dry here for the rest of the week and the rest of the month. First weekend of May starts out on the cool side, and then we climb it up just a little bit, getting back to that 50 mark. Temperatures into the lower 50s and a few isolated showers for this time next week.
The UP State Fair has announced another headliner for 2026. Multi-platinum rock band Daughtry will take the grandstand stage on Friday, August 21st. The group is known for their soaring vocals, emotionally charged lyrics, and high energy. So you can buy the tickets at the fair's website. That's all for us tonight. Have a great evening, everyone.
Shop hundreds of Lazy Boys at Kirkish Furniture in Houghton. Kick back in comfort in an industry-leading recliner. Choose from all fabrics, colors, and sizes with prices starting as low as $4.99 plus free delivery. Shop Kirkish Furniture in Houghton today.
It's Earth Month in the Upper Peninsula. Small actions make a big impact. Recycle 906 accepts cans, cardboard, plastics, and more, helping keep the UP